Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Spiritual Spotlight series. Today, I am joined by the lovely Erica. Erica is the owner of Aligned by Erica. She has essential oil products that are intuitively designed for your favorite self-care products. Welcome so much to coming on here tonight. I'm so happy that you're here.
Me too.
Tell me a little bit about, we're going to talk about your intuitively creative products, which I do love them. She's got an amazing array of products that are for like anything, abundance, love, I think, everything. I don't even know. I know she's got a lot of them and I love the design of them as well. But I want to go back a little bit because you do intuitively creative products. How did you kind of tune into your intuitive senses?
To create everything?
Yeah, to kind of like, how did you, let's take it back a step. You're a very spiritual person. You're very intuitive. You, I know that you're trained in other modalities and we'll talk about that. Like, how did you kind of get on this path? Like what sparked inside of you? You're like, okay, there's something else that I want to look into here.
So I have used essential oils and done a ton of essential oil stuff since like 2015.
That's a long time.
And I went the traditional route of like vendor events and home parties, which I loved, but it really took a ton of energy out of me. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I realized the things that I enjoyed most were making things for people, creating like prize products, making things for people's, birthdays and events. And so I said to myself, like, why don't I create this?
Yeah.
So I actually, the first creation was in February of 2020. And that was not a good time to start a business. Yeah. And so it kind of like fizzled a little bit. Yeah. And I said to myself, okay, like let that piece go and really figure it out. And then I went a different route. I became a holistic health coach. I learned a ton of stuff about that and kind of went a different way and then came back to oils with like a different mindset, I would say. And how could I create them in a way that was really based in self-care and like a daily practice, meditative practice, spiritual practice. So I had all the materials, I had all the ideas on paper, and in the way that the universe like comes in and pushes you, I submitted myself for a gift bag for a retreat that was in Arizona. I was like an internet person, submit if you want your business to be selected. So my business was selected and I said to myself, I guess I should create my business. So I went backwards.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
Yes. And so I ended up making these goddess roll-ons for that retreat. And I had a couple of prototypes before that. So really that is what pushed me to get the Etsy set up and have a business and get business cards and that kind of thing. It kind of just propelled me.
I love the fact that you tell us a little, do you still make the goddess roll-ons? Tell us a little bit about that.
There's a goddess roll-on and a goddess spray. And that name was the name of the retreat. Like it's not a name that I came up with, but I really wanted something very grounding. So that's where that kind of blend came from. And then in the intuitive process, like I will have all of these ideas and I have notebooks of ideas, but only so many come to fruition because, doubts creep in or no one's going to like that, all that whole thing. So when something comes into fruition, it's really exciting because it's like, okay, this one feels really good. That's going to be created now.
Yeah. It sounds like, I love the fact that I want to ask you this. Did you feel like you had an intuitive hunch to kind of apply for this gift bag?
Yes. When you're like, I'm going to submit for this. I feel like they're going to pick me. I should probably get my act together because if they do, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
So do you do anything with the holistic health coaching?
I coached for a little bit and I coached before that, but I put that on the back burner for the oils. I do think eventually I will probably run like a self-care group.
Nice.
Something to really teach how to use the products and incorporate them with self-care.
Oh, I love that. So let's go back a little bit. So what kind of got you into essential oils?
Wow. I was looking for like, I don't want to use like terms and like a blanket disclaimer of like oils don't cure. You know what I mean? Let's put my disclaimer out there.
But
I was
FDA
looking
compliant.
Yeah, let me be compliant. I was looking for natural alternatives for like stress and anxiety and just things that like overwhelm.
Yeah.
And I had like seen a bunch of stuff and I tried a bunch of products and different oil blends as one does, and you just like go down the dark hole of oils. And this one summer I usually go on like a beach vacation with friends, and I had made a bunch of roll-ons and I was using them on everyone's feet. And so that friend actually invited me to an oils party. And what's so funny is in the middle of the party, I wasn't really feeling it. Like I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
But I said to her, I was like, if I do this, I'm going all in. Like I wasn't ready. And it just like, it came out of my mouth. I don't even remember.
Another intuitive hunch.
Another thing that was like, I'm not there yet. The universe is going to like push you again. And so 3 months later, my cousin actually ended up bringing like oils to my mom's house. And that's how I got into it. And I started actually making my own lip balms. And she was like,
balms?
Yeah.
No, do you sell those?
Yeah. So it comes as a duo. There's a peppermint and a lavender.
Oh my goodness. Can I just say that, okay, we talk about intuitive, like I was just looking for my lip balm. I'm not even kidding you.
There you go. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so you started making lip balms and you sell them as a duo. Oh my goodness.
Yes. So, and back then my cousin said to me, she's like, who are you that you make your own lip balms? I don't know. And that turned into like make and take parties and really teaching people how to make their own stuff.
Oh, I
like
love
safer
that.
alternatives to really kind of knock those chemicals out.
Yeah.
And like I am someone who's very allergic to products and fragrance and chemicals and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I started making other things and it really kind of just spiraled from there.
I'm really not joking. I really was looking for that.
Yeah.
And I love that you do make, okay. So if you do not do this anymore, do you still do make and take parties or no?
I haven't done them in years.
Okay.
Just because, you've
evolved into other things.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Oh my goodness. It's interesting how you say how you kind of first got into oils. What prompted me to get into oils was kind of part of my spiritual awakening. And I love the fact that, so I use Young Living oils. I don't know if that's what you use as well.
Yeah.
What I loved about Young Living oils is they had all of like the spiritual ones that I felt like, and I felt like, okay, I can get connected to divine and spirit while using this essential oil blend. So we relate in the aspect of, oh, I like this. This is why, this is part of the reason why I like it, was kind of because I feel like, and I would ask you, do you feel like essential oils kind of supercharge like your intuitive abilities?
Yes, it's twofold. With the oils, definitely like raises your vibration. And I also use them really for more energy cleansing too, like especially if I am around a bunch of people, almost putting like on a shield. But in the same way, from like a health coach standpoint, the food you consume also affects your intuitive ability. And so it's really been looking at both of those things has really helped me. And using the oils consistently, like they're there, but sometimes I don't even take my own advice that I give out, I forget.
Do you mind sharing what oils do you use to shield yourself?
So I do use Young Living, and my favorite is White Angelica.
Yes.
So White Angelica and Valor, like if you gave me the deserted island question, like those would be two of the things that came with me and I cannot live without. And I actually have made roll-ons with both of those in them, along with a couple other things to kind of like have in my purse or with me at all times.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your roll-ons, if you can show us one and tell us about them.
Sure. Actually, this is the perfect one. So there's the Empath RollOn.
Ooh. Does that help you shield from like by like people? What? Oh my
shield
goodness.
and protect kind of a thing. Yes.
So I need 12.
There is actually an Empath kit. So the kit comes with a cleanse spray, which is more like a smudge spray, and the roll-on, which is for people who are highly sensitive to energy and things around them in their environment. So you can use the cleanse spray and just like spritz it, whether, you know, in your room, in your bedroom, wherever you are, and really set the intention that it is clearing out energy wise. And then the roll-on, whenever I use them, I really like to set an intention or say an affirmation or a mantra or something to really kind of solidify that, and with the intention of why you're doing it.
So let's take a step back. So tell me, why do you feel like saying a mantra or an intention or an affirmation is so important prior to applying your products?
So you can, like, say I grab it off the shelf and I'm just like, oh, you know, la da da, going about my day. You may not even stop and pause to realize why you're doing something. So it's the pause. It is knowing that as I put this on, this is why I'm doing it. Because oftentimes we rush around and just do, and we're not really thinking why we do things. So the mantra for me helps me to really like hone in on why I'm taking a moment for myself.
Okay.
Or why I'm taking some kind of self-care moment or practice.
Okay. Oh, wow. I love that. I love it. What other kind of roll-ons do you have besides the Empath one?
So there's a good morning, which would be like for your morning routine, really like a wake up, pick me up. There's a stress-free. So like a midday, if you're someone who has really like a stressful career or you're out and about and you want to have that on you.
Yeah.
And one for sleep. So if you're someone who has really trouble going to sleep, it helps kind of like calm and relax you. There's other ones to raise your vibration.
I think I have your abundance one.
Yep, there's abundance, love, flow if you need some support. I can't even think of them all. There's so many. And then there's the cleanse spray. There's also a self-love spray and a goddess spray. Nice. And there is full moon and new moon rollers.
You have a bunch.
The full moon, actually, there's also a kit for that, because I really I love a moon ritual, whether it's a new moon ritual, full moon, and full moon is great for releasing. Yeah. So there is actually, the full moon one comes with a bath soap. So you can use like half of this if you just want to do a foot soak, or the full amount in the tub. And then you would do that. You'd have some cleanse spray, and then you would have the full moon roll on as well. So I also like to journal or do some kind of releasing exercise with that too.
Oh, I love that. That is amazing. Now, do you also make intuitively, like if I were to reach out to you and say, look, this is what I feel like I'm struggling with, or this is what I'm trying to bring in more into my life, is that something that you could intuitively create a product for me?
Yes. So in the shop, there's one called Aligned. Okay. And that is for custom. So if you're like not really sure what you need, or you're kind of at your wit's end and you're like, I know I need oils, I know I want oils, like what do you do? Yeah. And I used to have, so I am also Reiki certified, and I used to have a Reiki and roll-ons package where I would do the Reiki and then suggest maybe various roll-ons or create various roll-ons to help you with whatever came through in the session.
Oh, I love that. Now, so you make the roll-ons, the sprays, a soak, a bath. What else? What other products do you make?
There's two different body oils. Oh, so this is the lavender one, and there's also a lavender chamomile, which is really, really calming. Yeah. And I actually have someone who uses this as their facial oil. Oh, I love And it's just like a massage oil, so you can use it as you would.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Now, I know you have an Etsy shop, and we'll make sure to post that in the links. Are you going to be adding on any more additional products or services?
Yeah, so I'm going to bring back both Reiki just as itself and the Reiki and roll-ons package. I just think it's so important with the energy clearing and to get something that is aligned that really comes through. And I'm also going to add intuitive readings, like oracle card readings, intuitive readings. But it's a little bit farther out, but it's definitely in the plan.
Oh, I love that. What do you like most about doing Reiki healings?
Just that it's always different, like you can go in prepared, and just also the feedback of what people feel and the release and that kind of thing. It just really being helpful, I guess.
Oh no, that's awesome. I love that. And then what about the oracle card readings? Like, what do you like doing about those? Like, or can anybody, you're not doing them just yet, right? You're going to be adding them on soon. What do you like about doing those?
So I do those for friends currently, and it's just fun to see what comes through, to really kind of connect and give someone extra guidance. I love doing like a new moon energy reading of like what's coming through for you on this new moon, or guidance from your higher self, those kind of readings. Just if someone is stuck too, I also love to get those kind of readings, because if you're kind of stuck and you just want someone else to like check on it or tune in. Absolutely. Or provide guidance. Sometimes we get in our own way, and we could just use a little nudge.
We get in our own way. What? Excuse me?
Never heard of it.
I mean, as a reader myself, I do love getting readings. So yeah. I mean, because like you said, it's always nice to have somebody that you can be able to check in with, and just kind of like, hey, because I feel like for someone like yourself who's very intuitive, and you're creating these products, and you're probably like, listen, I have 47 ideas. Let's streamline it into 3.
Exactly. Like all the ideas come in. Let me not overwhelm you. Here's what we can do.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, that's so interesting. So are you thinking about, so you were talking about maybe starting a self-care group. Would you be like partnering that with, perhaps doing the Reiki and the oracle card readings, and I mean, all of your essential oils?
I almost think, how you learn all of these different things. I almost feel like it would be teaching people different modalities on how to like self-heal or self-cope kind of a thing, of like, here are all the ways you can do X, Y, and Z, and incorporate oils or incorporate meditation, that kind of thing.
Oh, I love that. That's very interesting. So I want to go back. Did you, when you were a child, did you ever get any like intuitive hits or anything like that, where you're just like, oh, where'd that come from? And you had to follow it along?
It's so funny, because when you kind of have that awakening period, and then you look back and you're like, hey, I was right. You know what I mean? And I just always thought that I was like a little snotty Aries child. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That I just always blamed it on my zodiac sign. But I do think there were points where like I just knew things or felt things, and you don't always listen, or you just brush it off like, oh, that's stupid, kind of a thing. But when I was younger, I was always like getting like mediumship readings. Ooh. Like I had a woman about an hour away who did them in her basement. I loved going to that. Like we recorded them on cassette tapes. That's how long ago.
Oh my gosh, I remember that too.
Yes.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I remember going to Lilydale, and they'd be like little cassette tape, and like they're like, and here you go. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Yes. Years later, I found them, and I actually had to buy a Walkman because I had nothing to play them on. And Walkmans were like $30. I was like, I don't really want to spend the money on that, but like I also want to remember what's on that tape. So.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Do you ever work with angels or any type of other guides or anything that comes in with your intuitive hits?
I personally work with angels a lot for like clearing, like a lot of Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, that kind of thing. Yeah. But if I am reading for someone, I will call on their higher self, and then surround by angels, or kind of like make sure there's only loving messages that come through.
There is a girl that is blowing up my phone with questions for you, so I'm just
fire away.
Thank you, Melissa. She wants to know, other than roll-on or diffusers, what are other ways that you can use oils for your intuition?
specifically for intuition.
Yeah.
I also like with the soak or like a bath soak or a foot soak, especially because with the water being super grounding as well, it almost like pairs that really well with the grounding energy and also allowing you to kind of release. And sometimes when I dump the foot bath, I will also kind of imagine everything that came up releasing down the drain as well as good practice.
Oh, wow. And then, sorry, I had another question. Do you recommend any oils for gifted kids?
I've never thought of that. I do think oils in general, like getting a young person to not only use oils, but understand their vibration and raising their vibration or clearing their energy type of thing. So
Okay.
I almost feel like the white angelica of how I clear my energy would be a great thing to teach someone just to get them incorporated.
Okay.
In having a practice of using them as well.
No, I love that. What are some oils that you use on a daily basis?
So the Good Morning Roll-On is like morning routine. And I just thought of something for kids too. Like all of the roll-ons are diluted. So it doesn't, like whatever age, if anyone is worried about that, they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But the Good Morning one is really good of like awakening in the morning, raising your vibration and getting a morning routine going. Because if you are someone who just like jumps into your day, your energy is like your tank is here and you're depleted. But if you kind of like start your day and fill your cup up a little bit, raise your vibration, maybe do a journaling exercise or a gratitude journal, anything like that, you're already overfilled so that whatever happens during your day, you know, you're not as depleted.
Yeah. Oh, that's
really good setting a good intention for your day.
So you have a midday one too, right?
So I use this stress-free as like the midday. Really it's more calming, and you could use other oils for energy too if you get like a midday slump. But like usually I find midday you're kind of scattered or you're going in 20 directions and you really just need like a calm bring back to self energy. And I like the stress-free for that.
What I thought was interesting is how you said that you, like, as being a holistic health coach, you've had to modify some of your eating habits to kind of be clearer for your intuitive hits, like for when you're working with the angels or probably with spirit or with other guides that come forward. Are there some things that you can share that you're like, I can't eat this because this makes me not as clear, but if I eat this, this makes me super clear and grounded?
I am super sensitive to like food additives or processed food and things like that. And it's not to say that everyone is, it's just like my body
for
personally, I find very foggy or just like my brain, you don't feel as clear. And years ago, I did the Whole30 diet, which is like an elimination diet where you remove the food for 30 days and then you slowly add things back in to see how it affects you. And that is if you're someone who's curious about like what foods are affecting you, an elimination diet is a great way to take that time to see what clarity comes to you. And it does take a long time for food or things to really get out of your system. Like something can take up to 3 days to digest. So you may still feel foggy days later.
Wow. And do you find that, like, how is it for you in like keeping clear with what you're eating? Like, do you have some days that you're like, okay, I'm not as good as other days, or are you pretty like consistent?
There are years where I'm not consistent and like vacations and things like that. You definitely feel the influx, but I have actually been working recently and done a lot of testing too of like what specifically is impacting my body personally with like hormones and things like that. So everyone is so bio individual and what is going to react to them, whether it's food allergies, intolerances, anything like that. But if you're curious to really see how food is impacting your intuition, I would start with eliminating like greens, dairy, alcohol for 30 days.
Okay.
And see like how that impacts you if you feel clearer.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I know that for me, like if I don't really drink alcohol. But if I don't eat gluten, I find that I'm a lot clearer, but I'll crave it.
Yeah. It doesn't go away, but it does make you a lot clearer, especially just fogginess.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you feel weighed down and you feel like, like the other day we just had this where I work, they always bring us food, whatever. I try not to eat it, but they brought in donuts the other day and I was like, I really want a donut. But then I had thought to myself, I don't want to get foggy and weighed down because then I don't feel it's clear and open. It's such an interesting feeling. Like when you're probably for you too, like when you're tuning into what you're eating and how to stay clear, like what impacts you and what doesn't,
the phrase where you're like, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience.
Yes.
It's like the donuts are the human experience.
I know.
Where you're like, I still have to enjoy this life.
I know. I was like, no, I walked up the stairs and I'm like, what if I ate 3 of them right now? I didn't. I really wanted them though. I'm probably gonna get donuts this weekend because I keep talking about it. So, but I know how it will impact my body, and I know how it like for you, like it will impact my intuitive abilities, which is interesting. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up this awesome conversation? Like, I really think you have these amazing products, like for self-care, and self-care is so important right now for everyone. Like, I just think I'm like, I want to get the morning, the midday,
Yeah, I would say like if you have never tried oils before, like don't be afraid of them. Start small, start with one product that you think like most resonates with you if you looked at everything. I do have a newsletter. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you get a coupon code. So it's alignedbyerica.com. There'll be a newsletter link.
Oh, awesome.
So you get 10% off if anybody's interested in just trying something. There are kits like the Empath kit or the full moon kit if you really want to get something in like a couple different products at once. And people are welcome to reach out to me if they have questions or they're unsure, that kind of thing.
And I guess I do have one more question. What advice would you give to somebody who's kind of newly on this path of like, because I do feel like your products are spiritual in nature and they're very intuitively guided. What would you give as a new person? Like you said, don't be afraid to use the oils. What's kind of some advice that you would be able to impart on somebody who's newer to this?
To trust the process, the dreaded word of patience, and really just experiment. And you think of yourself as like going on an adventure. It's not a dreaded adventure. It can be fun. There will be ups and downs, but like try everything out that feels good to you. Like if a modality pops up, try it. Even if you don't think you're going to like it, you know what I mean? Like you don't know what things you will enjoy, especially as an intuitive or in this journey. Like it really takes trying things to kind of like figure out what you enjoy and what works for you.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Well, I want to say thank you so very much for hopping on to this awesome interview this evening. I really appreciate you and coming on and talking about your amazing products. Once again, what's the name of your website?
It is alignedbyerica.com.
All right, perfect. And I will make sure to put that in the link when I post the video. I just want to say thank you.
Yes.
And I hope everybody on here has a great night, and I'll talk with all of you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.